Okay, let's get started then. Get this onto the right screen. So yeah, thank you all for joining us this evening. We're really, really excited to welcome you all to our Kilimanjaro 2023 information session. We are sure you are all aware of what an incredible experience this is, but we want to kind of outline that this evening by going through what we making possible in Kenya, a bit about the challenge, and also the fundraising support that you're going to receive from us. So Simon and I have not long got back from Tanzania, where we supported over 300 climbers this summer to take on this challenge. Can safely say it's up there with the best experiences I've ever had. But some quick introductions. So I'm Harriet. I'm the Communications and Engagement Officer here at Dig Deep, and we'll be taking you through the challenge. So I first got involved with Dig Deep myself by actually doing Kilimanjaro when I was at university. I then went on and climbed Mount Kenya as well and raised about £5,500 in the process. I then completed some placements with Dig Deep as well, and then I went on to work full time, and they just couldn't get rid of me. So I've now been here just over 3 years and have been supporting fundraisers just like yourselves in that time. We also have Simon on the call, so I'll let Simon introduce himself.
Yeah, thanks, Harriet. So I'm Simon. I'm the Operations and Mass Participation Events Manager at Dig Deep. So yeah, like Harriet said, we've just come back from delivering our 2022 challenges, and they're absolutely amazing. So I can't wait to tell you more about what obviously you can be doing next year. A little bit about myself. So I first got involved with Dig Deep back in 2013 when I did my first Kilimanjaro climb. Absolutely loved it. I went back for round 2 in 2019. So I've done it twice. So hopefully I should be able to tell you everything you need to know about it. I've been with Dig Deep now for just over 5 years full time as a member of staff. So yeah, absolutely love it and can't wait to speak a little bit more about it.
Amazing, thank you. So I will hand back to Simon shortly. You won't have to listen to my voice for the whole of this presentation. But as I say, to get started, I want to take you through kind of the charity side of things. So as you may be aware, we are a charity first and foremost, and we organise these incredible challenges all in-house so that we can maximise the funds raised to deliver our charitable objectives in Kenya. So Dig Deep, the charity, was formed back in 2007 by student volunteers, and then in 2011 we launched our not-for-profit arm, Dig Deep Challenges. So we're really, really pleased to have been awarded Charity of the Year at the National Student Fundraising Association Awards. So that rolls off the tongue. I wonder if we're getting more words in there. So that was in 2021, and then we were also shortlisted in 2022, and that is recognition for our continued efforts in supporting the next generation of fundraisers. So as part of this challenge, you will have a minimum fundraising target of £2,950, and that's so we can achieve a minimum of a 50-50 ratio between a charitable donation and your in-country trip costs. So this money can be fully fundraised or part self-funded, and anything that you raise above that £2,950 goes straight to charity and increases your impact in Kenya. So to start with, let's see what you will be making possible. So here at Dig Deep, we believe that every resident in Kenya, including the young children from Chepkaigo Primary School who are on screen, have the fundamental right to access clean water, safe toilets and good hygiene. Oh, there we go, we'll catch up. So we focus our work in one region of Kenya, a place called Bomet County that you can see on the map there, which is in the southwest. It's a beautiful rural county home to approximately 1 million residents, but across the county, 80% of people have no access to clean water, safe toilets and good hygiene. By taking on this challenge, however, your fundraising will enable our team working in strong partnerships with the local communities and also county government to vastly accelerate access to water, sanitation and good hygiene for every resident of Bomet County. And that's through a variety of different ways. So firstly, by designing and building large-scale water systems that provide thousands with access to clean water every day, to training households how to construct their own latrines and end open defecation, and that leads to a reduction of the spread of disease, to developing new rainwater harvesting technologies and school toilets that can withstand the challenges of climate change. And that's as well as developing new school curriculums and community outreach training to bring vital hygiene messages and practices to the next generation. So it all sounds very nice, but I want to give you kind of a solid example of how this has been implemented in the past few years. So one of the things that we work really hard on is to end open defecation across Bomet County. So going back to the start of 2020, which seems like a million years ago now, there were no villages in Bomet County that had been declared open defecation free. So that means that every household has a toilet or a hand washing station. So our team initiated a behaviour change programme called Community-Led Total Sanitation, which provides training to communities on the importance of a toilet and hand washing station and how it can reduce the spread of disease and illness. It also includes things like training on how they construct their own latrines and at their homes and hand washing stations as well. So they launched what word am I thinking of? Pilot. They launched a pilot. Oh, it's gone out of my head. During 2020, and then by the end of 2021, all 100 villages in Endonaya Ward, which is one of the regions in Bomet County, have been declared open defecation free, and that means that 50,000 people are now better able to protect themselves from viruses and diseases. So this historic achievement has led to a co-funding partnership with the county government of Bomet, where we are going to dramatically scale up our work and reach the remainder of Bomet County together. So ultimately, it's because of supporters like yourself taking on these challenges and raising the vital funds that has enabled our Kenyan team to achieve this historic success. And now we have a backing of the county government as well, so our impact can be even greater. So the reality of all of these things is that you will be giving the gift of time. So the less children like Carlos and Mary fall ill, the more time they can spend at school, learning and building themselves a brighter future. And the less time people like Joyce fall ill or spend walking long distances to collect water each and every day, the more time they can be at work, providing for their families so they can ultimately lift themselves out of poverty. So just £50 provides 1,000 litres of clean water storage at the school in Kenya. So you can just imagine the impact you could have by fundraising and taking on this incredible challenge. So that is a very whistle-stop tour of what Dig Deep does. But if you would like to find out more, you can head over to our website where there's more blog posts and information about the impact that you'll have as well. But for now, I'm going to hand over to Simon, who is going to take you through the challenge itself.
Amazing. Yeah, I get the bit that I'm sure you're all buzzing to find out about. So yeah, to start off with, obviously a slightly more boring part, but they're a very important part nonetheless. How to get involved in the challenge. So we ask you to secure your place with a registration fee, and that is a total of £395. Now we do break that down into two more manageable instalments. So the initial £195 is what you'll pay when you complete a registration form on the website. Then your remaining balance of £200 is not payable until the end of January. So it's broken down into sort of two more management instalments for you. Now there are ways as well in which you can reduce your remaining balance, so that £200 during January. And obviously one of those is by being in this session right now. So you'll have been emailed a discount code for attending the session, and that will give you a £100 discount on that £200 during January. Now that is only valid for 48 hours, so you will need to use that code within the next 48 hours, otherwise it will expire. We also have a refer a friend scheme as well though. So when you sign up, you will then receive through email a unique referral code, which you can then pass on to your own friends and family who may want to join on the trip. And then you'll both share a £100 discount, so £50 each on that remaining balance as well. So ultimately, if you sign up in the next 48 hours with the discount code and then refer two extra people to join you on the trip, you'll have no second instalment left to pay, and you'll just register for that initial £195. Hopefully that all made sense. So now just go on to the next slide, if it'll work. There we go. So Harriet's already mentioned in terms of the fundraising target, so that's the £2,950 in total. Now she's obviously already mentioned as well about what the charity half of that donation will make possible in Kenya. Now I want to stress that as we are not a profit-making challenge provider, we are a charity who run these trips in-house. All of the money in that fundraising target is either charity donation or it covers your in-country costs. And all those costs are listed on the page that you can see there. So in terms of your support staff on the mountain, so all of your drivers, your guides, your porters, your cooks, all of your food and water is all covered within the cost for your climb itself, and also the entrance to the national park as well, which you probably don't sort of consider as a cost, but yeah, that and your hiking permit to actually get onto the mountain itself. You've also got all of your in-country travel, so that is your airport pickup options and also travel to and from your accommodation to the mountain and back. You've then got accommodation for a night either side of the challenge, so on your arrival day and also on the day that you finish your climb. And then we also have support staff around as well. So we have an expedition medic from the UK who will be on your climb group with you. So other providers do tend to have a medic on their climbs as well. They're often sort of stationed on one particular camp on the mountain, whereas your medic will be walking with you within your group, right from the base all the way up to the summit. So any medical issue that may arise, you've got a qualified medic there with you to look after you and help to treat. We also have myself and Harriet, who'll be out in country as dignity support staff, a nice friendly face, who'll be there to sort of help with any concerns you may have out in country. But also we have a doctor stationed in Moshi as well. So Moshi is the town close to the base of Kilimanjaro. So any issues that may arise either before or after your climb, there's more medical support there, so you don't have to go to sort of costly private hospitals. So all of those costs are covered within your fundraising target of 2,950. Now, Kilimanjaro itself, so this is what we're here to find out about and what it's all going to be, sort of what you're going to experience next year. So before I sort of go forward any further, I want to stress that all the photos and footage in this presentation are all from dignity climbers over the last couple of years. So you can really see what these landscapes are going to be that you're going to experience in next summer. Now, your climb itself will take place between the 14th to 28th of August. So your climb will start on one of those days. And we have multiple different climb day options within that window. So you could start on the 14th, or you could start on, say, the 27th or 28th of August. So if you're looking at those dates and already thinking, oh, I can't do the 14th, I'd have to go later, that's absolutely fine. I basically organise the trips with our partner suppliers. So just pop me an email and we can make sure you're on a date that works for you. We will confirm your trip date for all of your teams and all of your groups at the start of December. So once registrations close at the end of November, so you have to sign up before the 30th of November. We will then allocate all of the groups and all the individuals to particular dates and then release those along with the recommended flights at the start of December. So like I said, any date issues that you're sort of concerned about, just drop me an email and we can sort of find an option for you. But without further ado, let's take you through what you can experience on Kilimanjaro. So if you didn't know already, Kilimanjaro is the highest freestanding mountain in the world. It's known as the roof of Africa because it's also the highest point on the whole. Sorry, that's my dog in the background. It's also the highest point on the whole continent of Africa, standing at just under 6,000 meters above sea level. You'll be taking on the Machame route, which is a 6-day climb. It's 4.5 days to get to the top and 1.5 days to get back down again. And this is the kind of the terrain and sort of landscape you see on the first day. So you'll start off in this luscious rainforest at the base of the mountain. There's loads of native flowers, native plants only found on Kilimanjaro National Park on the first day. And also monkeys flying through the trees above you as well. So a great sort of exposure to the Tanzanian wildlife on that first day. But the great thing about Kilimanjaro is every day is a completely unique experience. So you travel through lots of different ecological zones on each day. So just a couple of hours into day 2, you'll have exited the rainforest and you'll be well above the clouds of Afrin already. And you can see how the terrain changes on each day. So it gives you a chance to sort of tackle different landscapes, different terrains, and every day is a completely unique experience. At the end of each day, you'll also arrive at your campsite and that'll already be set up waiting for you. So you do not need to worry about setting up your tent each day or carrying all your equipment. You've got an amazing team of porters who will be doing that for you. So they will shoot off ahead, carrying your sort of main big bag with all your equipment in and also your tents. And then by the time that you arrive at the camp later, that'll all be waiting for you, along with a freshly cooked meal. So the food in Kilimanjaro is absolutely amazing, and you'll be surprised at what they can rustle up on the side of a mountain. But you'll have 3 freshly cooked meals a day by the chefs, and they can cater for all dietary requirements. So there's no better way to sort of end each day of climbing with a nice full belly and enjoying these incredible sunsets, which get better and better each night. Now, the Channel route is also one of the most popular routes because it allows you to acclimatise as you go. So on day 3, you will trek up to a place called Lava Tower, where you'll stop to have some lunch, and then you'll start to descend back down again to a place called Barranco Camp. So it follows the principle of a climb high and sleep low. Now, this short exposure to a higher altitude really helps to improve your stomach success rate on the following days, as it's given that sort of your body that exposure to the higher altitude, and then you can adapt. What it also does on this route is it gives you the chance to tackle the Barranco wall, which is generally everyone's favourite day. So it's not as scary as it looks from these photos, but it's a great sort of few hours scrambling up the side of the wall. And then when you get to the top, you get these incredible views as if you're on top of the world. So you'd be so far above the clouds at this point, you'd be looking down at your campsite from where you just come from with the little specks of tents that are still there. And you actually see the curvature of the earth at this point as well. It's an absolutely special moment and obviously a great chance to get some good group photos. A lot of people tend to go for the jumping shot, which you may have seen there, which is pretty brave on the side of the on the side of the wall, but definitely a great one for your Instagram or things like that. And talking about great photos, these are some of the photos you can get from the night sky. So obviously at this altitude, there's no clouds obscuring your view of the Milky Way and sky lit full of stars. So any budding photographers out there, definitely recommend seeing if you can better some of these photos, because yeah, that one at the bottom right from Megan there is actually one of my favorites I've ever seen of the Milky Way and the tent and the light. So yeah, there's a challenge for you, see if you can better those. And then you're on to summit night. So summit night is extra special because you actually start your climb at night. So you'll exit your tent around midnight to 1 a.m. You'll put on all the clothes you own because it's absolutely freezing, and you'll follow your head guard and a line of head torches towards the summit. You'll then witness the sunrise around sort of 6 hours into your climb, and obviously then understand where you are in the grand scheme of things on the mountain, and looking up towards the summit. I'm not going to lie, this will be one of the hardest moments of your life, probably, which Paige is demonstrating very well here. You'll be absolutely exhausted from the previous days, and the altitude will be leaving you short of breath. But I want to stress that you do not need to be a super keen athlete or have loads of hiking experience to achieve this challenge. You just need that inner drive and mental belief that you can and will make it to the top. But you'll also have an incredible support team behind you. So you'll be climbing with around 20, 25 fellow climbers who will be there to support you every step of the way. And you'll also have an incredible support team of guides and porters. Now, we have a unique approach on our summit night where we have a 1-to-1 ratio of climber to support crew member. You literally have a dedicated person walking by your side for the whole aspect of your summit to make sure that you are looked after properly and given all the support that you need. And this really reflects back in our success rate. So in our climbs this summer, we had a 94% success rate getting to the top. And across all of our 10 years, it's been over 90%. So you can see that, yeah, you have the greatest chance that this could be you, standing at the highest freestanding mountain in the world, on top of Kilimanjaro. The feelings will be a mixture of elation and relief and exhaustion, just all rolled into one. It's very hard to describe, which isn't ideal because I'm trying to describe it to you right now. But trust me, it's something you're going to remember absolutely forever. I can still vividly remember walking up and touching that sign to make sure I had actually made it and I wasn't dreaming. And then obviously celebrating it with an amazing new team of great new friends is something that you don't necessarily anticipate going to this climb, but you will make great friendships along the way. And it won't just be with your fellow climb team either. So like I said before, the support team will be there every step of the way, and they'll make great friendships with you as well. Now, we've been doing these trips now for just over 10 years, and we know that it is these local people that make your experience what it is. We're super lucky to work with 2 long-term partners with African Sea and Safaris and Trek to Kili, who will be the local Tanzanian suppliers looking after you on your whole experience in Tanzania. These are 2 of the best in the business for Kilimanjaro climbs. I'd urge you to check out TripAdvisor and look at their reviews. Absolutely amazing companies and really know what it takes to give you the best experience. I want to stress though, sort of make you aware that there has been a history of exploitation of mountain crew on Kilimanjaro in the past, and it is still prevalent now. We are partnered with a organisation called KPAP, who are the Kilimanjaro Port Assistance Project, and they are effectively fighting for ethical and welfare standards of mountain crew on Kilimanjaro. And both of our climb partners are registered with KPAP. But what they do is basically send undercover porters to rate climb companies in, are they being sort of paid a fair wage? Are they given the right equipment? And all of those sort of standards what we've come to sort of expect aren't necessarily being delivered on. And the reason we're partnered with these 2 companies, and these are 2 of the highest rating from KPAP. So you can be sure that your crews will be properly looked after and given a fair wage and everything that you'd expect. And it will reflect back in your experience too, because they will then be able to give you the best experience on the climb as well. So for your crew, there'll be roughly 3 crew members to every one of you. So like I said, every climb team around sort of 25 people. There could be around 75 people looking after you, which is incredible when you see them all at once, sort of at your campsites and at the end, at the beginning as well. These are obviously made up from your porters, your team of chefs, and also your guides. Now, your guides are qualified mountaineers with years of experience. Many of them have grown up around Kilimanjaro, came through the ranks as porters, and then developed into mountain guides. They will be with every step of the way, and you'll develop sort of great friendships with these guys. Like I said, they will give you the best experience. And you can see from these images, you'll have a nice celebration back at the gate after you finish. And then we'll also organise a tipping ceremony. Now, it is customary to tip on Kilimanjaro, and it's in the region of $150 to $180, which is the recommended amount from KPAP per climber. Now, I know that sounds like a lot of money to you right now, and I completely understand it is. But I want to stress that we never have any complaints from our clients wanting to pay this much for tips. And actually, many of them give more than that when it comes to the point, after they've seen what your crew do for you and the experience they give. And obviously, that also gets divided up between all of your crew. But it's the perfect way to sort of bid farewell. You'll thank every single individual member of your crew, and then have a nice big celebration at the end, which you can see here before you bid farewell. Now, I spoke a little bit already, so I'm going to give myself a break, and I'm going to give it a chance to our climbers who came off the mountain just this summer. We've got some great videos on our TikTok channel. So if you are on TikTok, head over to @DigDeepChallenges, and you can see loads of videos from what our climbers took on this summer. And this is just one of them, with some people giving little testimonials when they came off the mountain themselves. If it'll play.
Climbing Kilimanjaro was probably one of the best things I've ever done. I knew it'd be good, but my expectations were blowing out of the water.
And it was just breathtaking. It was very, very challenging, but also very much fun. And it was really, it was one of the best experiences I've had in my life.
Probably one of the funnest things I've ever done. Again, that's not the best thing I've ever done.
Really thankful for an amazing experience, and you'll definitely love it. So we just want to say thank you to everyone.
One of the best experiences you have, the porters help in so many different ways.
They've gone above and beyond, and to the point where they're carrying our bags at some point if we need this. So, and we're coming to see that as well. Thank you to the porters, to everyone who got us up there. It's no good day without you, and I'm so grateful.
It was so good. I can't recommend it enough. It's truly incredible.
Goes off again. There we go. So yeah, this is just some of the stats as well from our groups this summer. So you can see I've got a happy all across the board in terms of how their trip was run, and obviously a great success rate as well. So just a little bit of sort of social proof there for you that that could be you next summer. And the great thing is, though, that this doesn't even have to be the end of your sort of East African experience, if you like. So Kilimanjaro can just be the start. Suppliers organise some amazing value extended trail packages, so you can go on safari after, and generally our groups go to a place called Tarangire National Park, which is basically the home of elephants. There's literally thousands of elephants walking around there. But you can also see, obviously, your standard safari animals, like your lions, your cheetahs, your leopards, your zebras. There's everything there to give you that whole rounded experience. You can then go on to a place called Zanzibar, which, as you can see from the pictures, is island paradise, crystal clear blue waters. You can go snorkeling, you can go swim with dolphins. You can go to a place called Prison Island, where there's a giant tortoise sanctuary. Loads of different things you can do to really sort of make the most of your whole experience in Tanzania. And our group stay in a place called Palumbo Reef, which is a 4-star resort, which you can see at the top right there. Absolutely amazing food throughout. It's run by Italians, so definitely the food is obviously going to be great. But like I said, the perfect way to sort of round off your experience. Now, Dig Deep aren't involved in the organisation of these trips. They're purely added as optional extras, which our suppliers organise for you. But they've been doing so since 2015, and they really are absolutely amazing to sort of round off your whole experience. Now, like I said, these are our sort of partner suppliers. So rather than me just picking them up and not letting them introduce themselves, there's a little short video here for them to sort of introduce who they are and what they do for you. If I can click it.
Do you want me to have a go?
Yep, sorry, I can't get there. There it is.
There we go.
This is Team Dig Deep Tanzania. Yeah. Welcome you all. Hello everyone. I'm Simbo Natai, Managing Director of African Scenic Safaris.
My name is Isaac. I'm the founder and owner of Trek Company Limited. I Trek to Kili and Africa Scenic, we are both partners with Dig, so all your clients and safaris as well here in Tanzania.
Yes, we are looking forward to welcome you to Tanzania and make sure you're gonna have the best time over here. We are the one to organize your Kilimanjaro clients and make sure you have the best local support for all your treks and organizing all your accommodation and transport as well. We are both K-PAP approved companies with local and ground support, and we are looking forward to welcome you to Tanzania.
Tanzania is so beautiful, and we want you guys to enjoy all. From Kilimanjaro climb, go on safari, culture tourism, as well as Zanzibar. We are here for you.
If you want to do something different, we are able to tailor-made any kind of packages. So what you need to do is just to ask.
We thank you very much for choosing Dig, Africa Scenic, and Trek to Kili. We are very, very happy to welcome you here so we can enjoy more of our country in Tanzania. Thank you, guys.
So yeah, the reality is, by the way, those two are like some of the nicest guys you're ever going to meet. Me and Harry have spent like about 5 weeks with them this summer, and honestly, yeah, they're absolutely amazing. Can't do enough for you. And that's the reality, that you're also, by doing this trip, you're going to be supporting a lot of local families in Tanzania as well. So obviously the money for your fundraising going into Kenya, but also going to be supporting sort of economy in Tanzania as well by partnering with our local companies. So just to cover the prices of these packages for you. So these are the costs for 2023. So we have our sort of recommended group options, which are the sort of the most popular ones which people tend to choose. So the 2-day safari in Tarangire, and then 5 days in Zanzibar. And then there's also 7 days in Zanzibar, and obviously slightly different prices depending on whether it's a larger group of 10 people or more, or between 5 and 10. All of those prices, they all include this full board, so all your accommodation, your food when you're there, all of your transport costs, everything's included in the cost apart from your drinks while you're in Zanzibar. So it's any sort of additional things. And then obviously if you want to do an excursion while you're in Zanzibar, so like you swim with dolphins, you snorkeling, that will be extra. But all your accommodation, everything is covered within that cost. As I mentioned as well, they can organise sort of bespoke trips for people on request as well. So if you know you want to do a particular safari, like a 4-day sort of Serengeti safari, or anything like that, that can all be organised for you as well. So you're not just limited to those 2 options. All you have to do is pop them an email and they can sort of price up and sort of organise that trip for you on a bespoke basis. So it's entirely flexible. If you did want to sort of book one of these packages, you won't have to pay for those things up front either. So they just ask for a $200 deposit, which is payable before the end of May. And then the remaining balance of that package is not due until you're out in Tanzania. So you basically pay them cash on arrival when you get there. So just a few other little things to sort of make you aware of as well. We need to make sure that you're aware of all the additional travel costs. So you may have obviously figured out already, your flights are not included in the fundraising target. So that is something that you book yourself. But we are here to provide you with the best value recommendations. We partner with a company called Trail Finders, and they will release the best value sort of flights to you. And we managed to secure last year, and we hope to again this year, the option with Qatar Airways to book by deposit. So in that sense, you secure your seat with a £100 deposit, and then you can just pay off your balance for that flight in installments throughout the year. So again, just trying to make it as easy as possible for you to sort of secure your sort of package and what you want to do, without having to have all the money up front. As we are aware, that's sort of not possible for a lot of people. And then your sort of standard travel costs, like your travel insurance, your visas and vaccinations of a sort of trip of this nature, obviously going internationally, those are kind of things you sort of need to be aware of. And then your sort of personal kit. So obviously you'd need good quality pair of walking boots and sort of a main trekking bag and things like that. We have a full kit list on our website, which we can send over to you. But our suppliers also have an amazing kit hire service. So you don't have to buy all this stuff up front. You can just sort of hire it out in country at great value prices as well. And all that information is on our pre-departure website, which you can find in the footer of our sort of Climb for Clean Water website. So before I hand back to Harriet, obviously just want to mention that we completely understand that you're planning now about sort of 8 months in advance or 10 months in advance out to August next year. And we can understand the sort of things can change. So we try and make it as flexible as possible for you to have sort of a safety net if for whatever reason you can't potentially go after you sign up. So when you sign up, you have a 14-day cooling off period. And that means you have 14 days to change your mind effectively, and then you'll receive a full refund of the registration fees. They are non-refundable after that period, so be aware of that. You do have a sort of 2-week window where you can sort of think it over and then make a decision if you sort of change your mind. We then also have a free deferral assurance policy. So this basically means you have the option to move your trip to the following year for any reason and with no charge, no cost, as long as you do this before the fundraising deadline, which is the 15th of June. At that point, any fundraising you've done at that point will carry over to next year, and we won't increase your fundraising target, and we'll just move your fundraising deadlines in line with your new trip date. So again, giving a bit of a safety net if for whatever reason you maybe have like a work placement or a family wedding that you need to attend at the point of when you're sort of climbing, you can just simply move your trip to the future year and won't be charged anything for doing so. So yeah, that's enough from me. I'm going to hand back to Harriet now, who's going to take you through fundraising and how we support you in that process.
Amazing, thank you very much. So it is natural to be a little bit apprehensive about fundraising, especially if you've never done it before, but trust us, it can and it should be a lot of fun. We don't sit back and let you figure it out for yourself. We are here to support you every step of the way. So we pride ourselves on the comprehensive support we offer to all of our fundraisers, and our Charity of the Year award reflects this, and us as being one of the best in the sector over the past year, and we're committed to maintaining these high standards, as ultimately the better all of our fundraisers are supported, the more funds are raised for our charitable objectives and the better experience our fundraisers have. So everyone's a winner when we're all working towards the same goal. So you don't need to be an experienced fundraiser to succeed in this challenge. In fact, most of our participants, this is their first fundraising challenge, so you won't be alone. So some more stats for you from this year. We love a statistic here. But ultimately, it's all about utilising us and also your networks and going out and just having fun with it. So you do need to put some effort into it, but it is honestly one of the best things that you can do alongside either uni or work and give you something else to focus on. You learn loads of transferable skills along the way. You can learn skills in things like event planning, marketing, sales, and ultimately networking as well. You will meet a team of people that you may not come into contact with if you don't do a challenge like this. It is the perfect way to develop your self-confidence, meet lots of new people and boost your employability. And I speak about that not only working with our fundraisers this year, but also from personal experience. I was terrified before I took on this challenge myself. I signed up not knowing anyone, didn't really know my team at all, but it only took a few fundraising events and a couple of days of being in Tanzania to have made like firm friends for life. And that sounds cheesy to say it, but it does happen. So I can say it from personal experience. So what you'll get from us, so to get you started, as soon as you register for the challenge, we'll get you booked in for a call in order to get a plan together of how you will approach the year and have a general chat about the challenge you're taking on. Sorry, I apologise, there's fireworks just started outside my house as well, so if my room lights up, that's fine. And then each month we have a schedule of support that begins with our fundraising newsletter, which includes curated monthly fundraising ideas and dates for your diary as well. And then throughout the month, we explore these ideas more on our dedicated social channels. So we have a support Instagram page. Simon mentioned as well, we also have our challenges TikTok, so you can see lots of footage of the challenge people taking on. You will be given a point of contact at Deep, who will have their calendar open to booking calls or arrange catch-ups throughout the year. All you have to do is pop us a message and one of us will be happy to answer any questions and come up with a plan of how you want to reach your fundraising targets. So you will also have access to extensive fundraising resources and campaigns. So this includes our virtual fundraising resources website, a webinar series, a regular blog and monthly challenges drop-ins as well. So as a charity, we also offer opportunities for you to get involved in campaigns such as our Kilometers for Kenya campaign. So that's a 100-kilometer virtual challenge, the Big Give, which is a match funding campaign, Skydives, Tough Mudder, and many, many more. So there's loads of ways for you to get the support that you need and find a route of fundraising that works for you. So when you join the challenge, you will become part of a massive family of Dig Deep climbers, past and present. So not only will you have myself and Simon and our colleague Meg, but also a fully trained team leader, your teammates, and also access to over 10 years of alumni challenges where you can go and gain inspiration and share ideas. So each month we have our instalment of Confessions of a Fundraiser blog, where we welcome current team members and past climbers to reflect on their fundraising or talk through their experience of taking on Kilimanjaro. So like I say, you can get inspiration and advice from a range of different avenues. So everybody fundraises in different ways and at different speeds. So there really is no one size fits all, and it is about making fundraising suit you, your schedule, unleash your creativity, and make the most of the things that you enjoy doing. So to give you an idea of how varied fundraising can be, I just wanted to introduce you to a number of climbers who, some of them completed their climb this summer, some are going next year, but they have absolutely smashed fundraising and really tailored it to their kind of interests and passions. So firstly, Anton and Louis, who are on the Warwick team, they hosted an epic football tournament which saw them approach the local Cafe Nero and Pizza Express to gain sponsorship and support. So that's such a great method for fundraising and utilising your events and networks, as they were able to cover all of their overhead costs with that sponsorship, and also offer incentives to donors in the form of Nero vouchers. Then secondly, we've got Lewis, who was on the Strathclyde team. He went down the physical route of fundraising. He ran the height of Kili each day throughout February this year. He actually caught COVID in the middle of that challenge, so he powered through and ran that in his garden and generated donations from friends and family. Then we've got Jack and Rory, who went a bit more traditional in their fundraising and hosted quiz nights. They managed to raise over £800 at one event, and then they replicated that twice afterwards, I think, which was amazing. It was great to see them working together as well to host such an amazing event. And then last but not least is Jasmine, who's part of our Royal Holloway team. She has been fundraising for a while. Unfortunately, her trip did get postponed because of COVID, but one of her most successful events was actually a clothes drive where she asked friends and family to donate items that they didn't want anymore, and then she could resell them on various platforms and generate donations. So she did sort of a mixture of online and in-person fundraising, which was great. So I hope that does kind of show you that your approach to fundraising will be tailored to you, your hobbies, your interests, and your passion. There's no point trying something that you have no interest in, because it probably won't work and you'll be disheartened by it. But there will be times throughout the year where events don't necessarily go to plan, or you feel a little bit deflated because you've tried something that's not worked. But it's really, really important to remember that every pound that you raise has a massive impact. So as you can see here, it's just £80 to paint a latrine block with talking walls with important hygiene messages at a school in Kenya. So we know that every single person who's considering taking on this challenge or may take it on in the future can smash their fundraising targets. But I think being able to see just what your fundraising can achieve definitely is a motivation. So as you have seen in the presentation that we've given, the landscapes on Kili are incredible, but this challenge is so much more than just that. As you can see on the screen, this is a quote from Kate, who took on the challenge this summer. I'll let you read through that, I won't read that out to you, but hopefully that just shows you the impact that it can have on individuals. So as you can imagine, you will be developing tons of skills within your fundraising. You'll be also pushing yourself like beyond your comfort zone. I don't know anyone whose comfort zone is climbing mountains, but you will be pushing yourself beyond that. So physically and mentally, the climb does test you. But from the moment you sign up to the climb, you will be surrounded by a team of people who want to see you reach the summit. So it's these sort of experiences that aid you in the future, both in personal and professional contexts. And I think reading a quote like this from Kate, I don't know, I love it, because Kate was signed up with this for ages and she finally got to climb this year. It's lovely to see the impact that it's had on her, like I say, both personally and professionally. So over the years, we've supported over 1,700 fundraisers, and we really can't wait to welcome you to the team. So that is enough of our voices for a moment. But if anyone does have any questions, please do ask them now. I know we've got Meg, who may have questions in the room in Sheffield. Is that where Meg is? But please do post any questions that you might have in the chat box. Like I say, there aren't any stupid questions at all, and we will pass this recording on to you afterwards as well. Simon has also just reposted the discount code link in the chat, so please do fill that in if you haven't yet.
Yeah, fire away with your questions, guys. I'm sure there's something we haven't covered, but
We might have covered everything.
we do also have an in-person event being streamed live at the moment, so we'll see if our colleague Meg sends any questions from the room.
Yeah. That's fine. Right, while we wait for questions to come through, Meg's messaged me, but I will ask my own question to Simon. What's the most important bit of kit you would advise people take with you on the challenge?
Most important bit of kit. I would say walking poles are an essential requirement. Some people choose not to take them, even though they're on the kit list. And I would say that, yeah, maybe on the way up, you don't need them, but on the way down from the summit, you're walking on a very sort of loose gravel, like scree, and having that first stability is essential to sort of take the load off your knees. And if you don't, you'll be walking in quite a lot of pain on the way down after you've gone down the summit. So yeah, walking poles are my definites.
Lovely. Okay, a few other questions. Is Kili the only event running this summer, as in summer coming?
So yes, so we run the Kili trip every August. We do have other events around. So internationally, we have a Mount Kenya trip, which takes place in October next year. And we also have a more kind of charity immersive experience called Walk for Water, where you go to Bomet County, where our projects are based, and you visit the communities. You also do a 70-kilometer walk over 3 days around the communities and hosted by local communities there as well. So you can kind of see exactly where your sort of impact is in Kenya. That is reserved for just 20 people, whereas obviously for Kilimanjaro and Mount Kenya, the groups are sort of unlimited in size and we can sort of add additional dates. We also have a range of UK-based events all through the summer. So like Harriet mentioned, we offer skydives, we do Tough Mudders, and we also have the Ultra Challenge series, which are 25k, 50k or 100-kilometer walks, runs or jogs, located all around the country. So right from the Lake District down to the South Coast, the Jurassic Coast, to your standard sort of most beautiful places in the UK, basically, where you can take on these events, and they're throughout the year. All of those are on our website. So if you just go to climbforcleanwater.org, you can see all our East African challenges and all of our sort of UK-based events as well. If Kilimanjaro you think is not for you, obviously you can take on one of those as well.
Fabulous, thank you. Luke has asked, when does the fundraising planning typically begin? I would say as early as you want it to. I think getting a head start on things is a really good idea. Obviously, those that fundraising deadline does come around quicker than you think it will. So I think if you register in the next 48 hours, we can get you booked in for a call in the next couple of weeks, and you can hit the ground running. We've got campaigns coming up around Christmas that you can get involved in. That will be a really good way to kickstart your fundraising. And obviously around the festive period is a great time to either host events or generate donations. So fundraising planning, I think, try and get in as early as possible just to relieve some of the pressure for you later on in the year. Is Tanzania a malaria zone? So I'm reading off the laptop screen and my phone.
Yes, so you will need to take malaria tablets when you go out there. So that's something that you can just pick up from pharmacy. Yes, so you'll have to take them for your duration when you're out there. Obviously, there aren't mosquitoes on the mountain, but you will need to take malaria tablets because obviously it's preventative. It builds up the resistance rather than just taking them as and when you get bitten. So yeah, you'll need to be taking malaria tablets for the duration when you're out in Tanzania.
Can I pay the whole thing myself rather than fundraise?
Yep, so it's completely up to you how you want to go about doing it. That fundraising target, it says fundraising, but we do have people who want to treat it as just a great experience for themselves. So yeah, people do pay it off entirely themselves. Some people will choose to fundraise the charity half and then pay off their sort of trip cost part. So it's entirely flexible how you want to go doing it. And obviously we're here to support you if you do want to fundraise the whole amount or fundraise a part of it. But by all means, if you're willing to sort of just pay for the whole amount, then yeah, absolutely amazing.
Nice. Why did you choose to do Kili as a fundraiser? Do you want to start, Si?
Sure. I mean, so I'd done my undergraduate degree and then I'd just gone back to start my PhD. And I felt that I hadn't really done enough during my undergrad, sort of made the most of the university experience and done sort of different experiences. So as soon as I got back to do my PhD, I was like, right, I'm going to throw myself into lots of different things. And I just happened to get an email from well, the Dig Deep team leader at the time, who was recruiting a team at Birmingham, and I signed up straight from there and took on Kili. Absolutely loved the whole experience, enjoyed the fundraising. I put on football tournaments because that was my passion and found it quite easy to get people involved. So I had lots of connections in that kind of sense of the word with taking part in football. And then, yeah, loved the whole experience of taking on the mountain and meeting people. And then a group of us who just came back from Kilimanjaro then signed up to do Mount Kenya the following year. So I've done the Dig Deep Challenge 2 years in a row. And then obviously loved it. And 2019 took my now wife back to climb Kilimanjaro again. So yeah, the experience, it's kind of different each time you do it. You meet different people. Obviously now I go out there and work each year. So it's great to go and meet the crew again and see sort of friends over the other side of the world. But it was just an amazing challenge to take on and something that I wanted to sort of remember forever, really, which is what I've done.
Amazing. I have a fairly similar story to Simon. I maybe slightly different though. I signed up more for, I'd seen things about Dig Deep and I was kind of motivated by the charity side of things. Hadn't climbed a mountain before, so probably should have done a little bit more training, but I just, when I was at uni, I wasn't part of societies and things like that. I was at quite a small uni, so there wasn't a massive amount of like extracurricular things that I was interested in. I definitely couldn't have made it as a cheerleader, so I had to find something alternative. And then I saw this opportunity, and then from there, went and climbed Kili, met an amazing group of people. Like I said, I signed up on my own, so I didn't really know anyone before I started, but that wasn't an issue at all. I think by the time you spend 6 days on a mountain with people, you become closer than you've probably been with anyone in your life. And then after I'd climbed, I went on to do Mount Kenya as well, and just loved it. I think I really enjoy fundraising as well. So it was the whole process for me. I really liked hosting events, letting people know what I was up to, seeing the impact of our fundraising as well, from the team in Kenya, and being able to have that kind of, like I say, personal development opportunity as well, because I came back, you come off a mountain a different person. I'm throwing out all the cliches this evening, but you really do. So yeah, I just would advise anyone to do it as an all-round amazing trip. And like Simon mentioned earlier, the suppliers that we work with, you saw Isa and Simbo, they're amazing. I was very lucky to spend 5 weeks with them this summer. And they and their teams look after you so well. You really get to experience the Tanzanian hospitality, which is lovely as well. So I think that's, let me just double check. That's all the questions from Meg. If anyone else does have any other questions, please do ping them in the chat. If not, if any questions do pop up, then please do just get in touch with one of us. Our team email address is there at the bottom. One of us will pick that up and reply to you. If not, if you already have us on Facebook, I've been posting the event page on Facebook, message us on there, but we'll be happy to answer any questions. One last reminder, if you haven't filled out that form, please do, and we will email you a £100 discount code, and then you can use that if you register in the next 48 hours to get your £100 off. Okay, we will also send a copy. I think that's everything. But thank you everyone for joining us this evening. Like I say, get in touch if you have any questions, but if not, I look forward to welcoming you to the team and supporting you to get to Kili next summer. Thank you.